We'll call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the invocation and pledge. And if any council member would like to lead the invocation, I'd be grateful.
Lord, we are so thankful for today. We're thankful for the many blessings you've given to us. We pray that you will watch over us, keep us safe, keep us free from pettiness, and with our city in mind. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Can I get a roll call, Giovanna?
Rose Beach.
Here.
Amy Long.
Here.
Terry Courtney.
Here.
Sherry Gaskell.
Here.
Dan Martin.
Here.
Matt Brown.
All right, a few announcements from the city. Coming up on April 25th through the 28th, we'll have our usual city cleanup. Dumpsters will be over at Public Works Building, and we'll have an extra trash pickup on Saturday, April 27th. As usual, this is only open to city residents. May 7th will be our next caucus meeting of City Council. That'll be at 6:30 over at Council Chambers. May 14th, we'll have our events planning meeting at 6:15 here at the Senior Center. And then following the events planning, we'll have our council meeting at 7 o'clock here. Can I get approval of the agenda?
Make a motion.
Second.
Rose Beach.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Terry Courtney.
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Thank you. And we had quite a few meetings last month. Can I get approval on those minutes? And if you'd like, guys would like to combine, that's an option.
A motion to combine and approve. A second.
Rose Beach.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Terry Courtney.
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Thank you. We're going to move into citizen comments first. Anyone from the community would like to speak tonight? Mark?
Yes, sir. I handed out a letter to the council. I'll just read it if I may. A couple of weeks ago, I verbally presented to the council a desire of one with municipal experience and from the city. We had the council hire a city manager. I've since learned that the official title for this position would be city administrator. Through research, and I hope it's right, I have learned that a city administrator in Kentucky earns an average of $50,000 per year. The range is 45 to 56 according to my research. The salary is dependent on the city and on considerations of its education, experience, and certification. Education and experience might be in the form of courses on civil engineering or municipal law, or parks development, and or having served cities with water and sewer systems. Examples of costs for other Kentucky cities are Alexandria, their administrator is about $52,470. The same for Florence. Down at Monticello and Somerset is around just under $50,000. And over here in Union is $52,400. So needs and expectations of the position can be determined by the council or a committee selected by the council. This committee can be made up of elected officials or citizens of the job of improving the position through city ordinance rests squarely on the council, as does the funding for the position. So I know that work on the new budget will be coming up soon. The 24-25 budget is quickly approaching, and funding must be included in the new budget if the council would like to create the position. It is the hope and the desire of myself and current former mayors who I've spoken with, councilmen and county officials, that the council will act quickly to provide this much-needed position. As you know, this position does not eliminate or alter the mayor's office or affect the council in any other way than to make the job much easier for the people holding these positions. By having a degreed, full-time person overseeing the operations of the city and acting as a liaison between the city and the school and business community, as well as other counties, cities, and the state. To help facilitate the ordinance, the city can request copies of the ordinances that other cities have used to create their city administrative position, such as Alexandria or Union that I listed above. I just want to thank you for your prompt attention to this matter, and I'm hoping that someone will, on the council will request that this be initiated and started. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? Mr. Fulmer?
Thank you, Councilman Martin, members of council, citizens all. As you will no doubt recall, in October of 2023, I came before you all and presented some information, which of course has resulted in a lot of the discussions and the meetings of the minutes that you've approved tonight. That was the genesis of a lot of this. And expressing my feeling as a lifelong resident of the community that I felt like I was being targeted by my city government. Tonight I'm here once again on that matter, having been contacted by my tenant, Mr. Wethington, today, who yesterday went to City Hall to inquire regarding why the city landscaping, which is on the western side of Main Street, there in front of the parking lot, an ATM machine, and next to the bank building and the bakery, is being neglected by the contractual employees that maintain all of the other landscaping up and down Main Street. If you go up and down Main Street, you can look at the eastern side of Main Street. All those flower beds have been weeded and pruned and are ready for planting. Mr. Wethington contacted me tonight just before I came to the meeting. He went to City Hall personally to speak to the clerk. My understanding from him, and you can correct the record, Giovanna, that you did not speak to him, but got on the telephone, and Katie handled that, and he was told someone would get back to him. That has not happened. So let me, for the record, and for many of you that may not know, those planters were the product and the brainchild of former council and Mayor Phil Herzog. Those were all installed when the stamped sidewalks and all that initiative was done. Mayor Herzog approached property owners, soliciting their permission to create these planters. This is an informal agreement. There was no easements done or anything of that nature. But again, as business owners and good citizens, we agreed to allow part of our properties to be used for the creation of those flower beds for the beautification of the city, with the expectation that the city would maintain them, which they have done all these years. That particular stretch on the western side of Main Street has been maintained by the city workers or the city employees or the city contractors all these years until this controversy all cropped up regarding the fence, the banners, and what I consider to be the targeting. Now, as I told you all at the time, back in October, it really is distressing as a citizen to have to come up here and address these issues, which you all drive up and down Main Street every day. Councilman Gaskell, you made the comments last meeting that Main Street was so dirty you wanted to have a work crew. Well, the fact of the matter is as far as I'm concerned, and now Mr. Wethington's bringing it to the city's attention, as a many, many decades old businessman whose reputation is certainly unimpeachable, and it's not being addressed. So it's not my desire, or in fact my nature, to continue to be litigious in any way. But the bottom line is this council needs to get this situation under control. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fulmer. Yep. Sure.
I'd like to follow up on what Mr. Barnhand said. You know, the city has grown through the years substantially. Some of you in here, and I'll look for those, have been around for a while, and two. from the residents, that I would concur with what Mark has said, that maybe council ought to look at having somebody full-time. You know, through the years, we've had mayors that have been up here that work full-time jobs. And it's tough for somebody full-time to be able to do what they need to do, unless they take off work, which could create problems. And every one of you up there work full-time jobs also. And I would concur what Mark said. I think a city administrator is something that maybe council needs to look into. You know, $50,000, if that's what the average salary is, you know, I would say that the city could afford that and at least have somebody here, because this town is growing so fast that we need somebody to be able to meet with proper people all the time. And maybe the mayor not having to take off work or meet late in the afternoon, or even council members. I know you all love your job, but this town is getting so big and it's growing. And I think we need somebody to be up here every day to see the day-to-day operations. As Mark said, I mean, we had looked into it when I was on council, and we just couldn't get it. We couldn't get it passed, you know, for reasons we won't go into. But I think it would behoove the council to look into that. And I know, like Mark said, you know, your all's budget's coming up, and you ain't gonna be able to do nothing right away to get something into the budget. But something that you all would look at would be a good thing. Again, thank you all for doing what you all are doing. It's a thankless job. You know, me and Mark Farrell been in that position. You know, it's a thankless job. Y'all have a tough job. And I'm just gonna tell y'all, keep doing what you're doing. I support you all for what you're doing. And most of you, if you've been on Facebook, I mean, some of you are getting, not personally, the council's getting rubbed through the mud. Continue doing what you're doing and doing right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Anyone else? Art, nothing?
Maybe later.
Okay. Sure, you good? Wayne? All right. All right, we'll move on to Sheriff's Department. You guys got a week tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Good to be with y'all. Council has a copy of my report, but for the benefit of the audience, there was 992 law enforcement events logged in the city of Walton in March 2024. Some of those include the following. Deputies responded to 12 911 hang-ups, 20 alarm drops, 3 animal complaints. Deputies investigated 21 automobile accidents. They logged 32 business checks, attempted service of 41 civil or criminal summonses. They responded to 20 domestic disturbances, 7 reports of intoxicated persons, 7 emotional crises, 4 juvenile trouble calls. They handled 4 motorist assists, 1 report of an overdose, 7 requests for information, 495 spot checks were logged. Deputies investigated 15 suspicious activity reports. They investigated 3 theft reports. I believe 2 of the 3 were at commercial establishments, like truck stop or grocery. 26 traffic complaints were logged. Deputies conducted 48 traffic stops, 12 vehicle complaints. We unlocked 6 cars, 3 calls of wanted persons, and all told, they issued 59 citations and made 9 arrests. Any questions I can answer?
Major, is a traffic complaint initiated by a citizen?
Generally it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where a member of the community calls in, like Councilwoman Courtney actually initiated one of them. But yeah, so that's definitely citizen generated.
Okay.
And then we monitor that for additional enforcement, and in some cases, it requires sometimes it's an engineering problem. So we can work on that with the city or county engineer as well.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chief Vest is not present tonight. Heard he's under the weather. So, Matt Bogan?
Evening, everybody. So our updates on the bridge project. I talked to the representative at Duke Energy this afternoon. He said they got their plans sent to Norfolk Southern last month. They haven't heard anything back yet, but they'll keep me posted when they receive comments. Got the bid specs ready to go on our resurfacing project, although Jerry asked me to add one more thing on there, so I'll add that real quick tomorrow, and we'll get that posted to hopefully have the bids back before next month's council meeting to award the contract. Also, we're finalizing our annual report to Division of Water for our stormwater efforts last year. The biggest thing we accomplished was mapping the storm sewer across the city. We already had maps for the water and sanitary sewer, but didn't have stormwater yet, so it'd be good to have that for reference. Also, getting more public involvement and just calling and reporting drainage issues in the neighborhoods, or if there's something going on at a construction site that needs attention. So it's good that we're getting the word out there that the public knows how to reach us and how to bring this to our attention for response. So anybody that's not aware, if it drainage issues, whether that's maintenance on a storm sewer or yard flooding or whatever, you can call either City Hall or Public Works. We'll check it out. If it's something on a construction site, if they're tracking mud out into the road, if they're, the work's getting outside of the area where it's supposed to be and there's mud or debris, whatever, they can go to code enforcement or myself. There's also a reporting tool on the city website. If you go to the stormwater page, there's just a quick thing you can fill out to report any issues. So, and then, Jerry and I have been talking and noticed some areas, culverts that are in need of repair and stuff like that. So, as the budget allows, we'll take care of those through the summer. Any council questions or comments?
Just what street or what did you add to the bid package?
It's over on Old Nicholson where they're doing Force Main. There's just a section where it's on the edge of the road. Just do it outside of. So it'll be a cleaner job if we have the contractor do it. Just do the whole match.
Does that last longer?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Moving on to the first item of business tonight. Ordinance number 2024-02, consideration of overriding mayor's veto. An ordinance of the City of Walton, Kentucky, creating a new section of Chapter 36 of the City of Walton Code of Ordinances in order to adopt a policy for the use of city credit cards by city employees, officers, and elected officials. Council?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of council. There is a lot of confusion surrounding this ordinance. You all adopted this ordinance last month. It was reported at the last meeting that the mayor vetoed the ordinance, but that he did not send a message back to council explaining the reasons why. I talked to him today. He said he didn't intend to veto it, thought he signed it. We can't find the signed copy. So it would have gone into effect 10 days after you all approved it. But if you want to clear up the record, you can go ahead and vote to override the veto, just if you want to.
Just so we're all clear, when he vetoes, it's a stamp. When he signs, he signs. So just so that we're all clear. I don't know how that can be confused. But I motion to pass.
Second that.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Terry Courtney.
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to our next item, ordinance 2024-05. This is the second reading. An ordinance of the City of Walton, Kentucky, amending Section 31.03, subsection F, of the City of Walton Code of Ordinances in order to revise the policies and procedures for the timing of payment of compensation for the mayor and members of City Council. Council?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's the title. By summary, you can see on the ordinance that what is proposed here is to reduce the options for payment to the mayor and council of three different options down to 2 options. The once-a-month option would be deleted by operation of adopting this ordinance, so that it is reduced to 2 options. One is once a year to be paid in November, or 2 semi-annual lump sum payments, one at the first June City Council meeting, the other at the first November City Council meeting. That is an option that's already here. And then the addition of paragraph 3 to that ordinance would be as follows. In no event shall an elected official be paid in advance of the date set forth in this ordinance or in any additional amount other than has been earned at that pay date. So that second reading, you all can debate, deliberate, and if you'd like to adopt this ordinance, you can do that by motion.
Motion.
Second.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Terry Courtney,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Thank you. Third item tonight, ordinance 2024-06. This is the first reading. An ordinance of the City of Walton, Kentucky, creating a new section of Chapter 36 of the City of Walton Code of Ordinances in order to adopt a policy for the use of city-owned real estate, buildings, and improvements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of council. This ordinance, the main part of it's on the first page, so I'm just going to read it. It reads as follows. All city-owned real estate buildings and improvements shall be used solely for public purposes. A, there shall be no storage or overnight parking of privately owned vehicles, boats, trailers, campers, motorhomes, recreational vehicles, or other non-city owned or leased equipment in or on city-owned real estate buildings or improvements. B, there shall be no sleeping, camping, or overnight stays in or on city-owned real estate buildings or improvements. C, any violation of this ordinance is hereby classified as a civil offense subject to the city's code enforcement procedures as set forth in sections 34.65 through 34.77 of the City of Walton Code of Ordinances. 2, further, any violation of this ordinance by a city employee, officer, or elected official will result in disciplinary action and possible dismissal and/or legal action. 3, further, any violation of Section A of this ordinance will result in the city having the offending vehicles, boats, trailers, campers, motorhomes, recreational vehicles, or other non-city owned or leased equipment removed from the city-owned real estate, building, or improvement at the cost and expense of the owner. That is the reading of the text of the ordinance. I understand that there may be an amendment proposed.
Yes, I would like to propose an amendment to where B, there shall be no sleeping, camping, or overnight stays. I want an amendment that says except for weather-related and other emergency instances, when our workers are having to be out there for hours and hours and hours and hours, fixing our roads. Sometimes they need rest for safety's sake.
We need a second on that.
Yeah, that
Or
would, we'll consider that a motion. The sponsor of the ordinance may have something to say, whether that's a friendly amendment or not.
That would be me, and I would say that the bed in the Public Works building has been used for other things in emergency situations, to my knowledge. So personally, I feel like, and we had this discussion, I feel like if our city workers are working long hours for snow removal, that we look at that, we cut those hours back. And Matt, you spoke from experience. I've never removed snow. And you were speaking of whiteouts and how that messes with your vision and how, it could be difficult. I don't see any different if I'm working a 6-hour snow removal, we reduce that down to 5-hour, and to drive home is the same difference as me spending an hour out there doing snow removal. So personally, I don't feel like there should be a bed in any of our city buildings. When the bed's there, it opens up the opportunity for it to be misused, and I think many of us are aware of its misuse. Absolutely.
Please.
So I know just opposite, because every time I stay here, the city, when you get done with whatever you're doing, and you need that little bit of sleep before daylight. So I live in King County, just some part of it. When I leave, I don't know if the roads are clean. So I'll stay here until it's daylight so I can see to get home better than it is to rest on the way home. So I don't feel good at asking an employee to go home and go to bed when you can go right here and be safe, especially if you done work 10 to 12 hours.
Well, and that's the point. Like, if the shift is too long, then we need to cut the shifts back. But it's the same as calling the employee in. If you're coming from Kenton County, is there not danger? Is there not danger when you're coming to work? So what's the difference in leaving work? I mean, you're traveling both ways.
Because when you leave, you have a choice of when you leave. When you're working, you come in, so you have to come in when you're home. That's the
And you don't know what kind of weather has happened since you've been there, whether your roads that you're going home on are as clean as the ones you just got finished cleaning.
Well, you're very well aware of the weather because you've been out removing the snow for hours. As you said, 10 to 12
You're well aware
hours.
of the weather of the place that you're at, of the land that you're at, not different roads, different places.
Mark, a comment?
Excuse me, I remember a couple of occasions when the crew had worked all day and these storms came in late in the day, and they were working late, sometimes all night long, depending on the weather situation. So maybe the bed can be removed, but some kind of cots can be bought for the crew for their own safety, because they had to be back on that work within a few hours.
Well, I'm just curious how that looks when there's one bed and we've got 4 men, right? What does that look like?
That's what I'm saying, maybe that could be removed and some cots could be purchased they've got the space over there.
I mean, it is safety first, but my only point is that it's been abused. And I'm not saying it's been abused by the public workers. I'm not saying exactly who it's been abused by, but to my knowledge, it's been abused. Unfortunately, we have to write an ordinance for people not to sleep in our public buildings, right? So that's where we're at.
I understand. I'm just saying that there are occasions when the maintenance crew is working all day, and then because of timing that of storms, they're working late into the night. One night I remember they worked all night. Some of them were working all night.
That's why I'm specifically asking for
If
emergency.
it was an emergency situation,
Weather
maybe
related.
we'd want to make the call, if it was that bad. Not to eliminate just anybody going in there and taking advantage of the situation.
You just
Wayne, do
don't
you have a
want people
comment?
to get in trouble for needing
I thought you
to
were-
rest.
And to my knowledge, this is something common across every city, is they provide a place for their plow guys. And Jerry, I think what you're saying, like you start your day on a normal shift, storm comes in, like you can't just take off that day to rest up for the snow. You got to do your normal job, then you got to plow, and then you got to do your normal job the next day. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
So that was not a friendly amendment.
Okay. So what happens on
I
not friendly?
don't mean to be flip.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not going to disagree that safety first, but I want to acknowledge and I want everyone to understand that the bed inside that building's been abused, and whether there's a bed or not, we've had elected public officials or even city workers sleeping inside our public buildings, not snow related. So that's my whole point of the ordinance. Our public buildings are not meant for elected officials or for city workers to find an alternate place to stay when it's convenient, outside of I hear you loud and clear. And I do believe safety first, so.
So, I mean, if we go forward with this amendment, I can draft some language and send it out and get something that'll accomplish both goals, I think. So-
That's fair.
So we would go ahead and vote on the amendment and then vote on first reading if you like. And then before second reading, I'll develop the language. Unless you want to start over with first reading next time, after you see it.
I
No.
think we can adjust it.
Yeah, I think we can vote as well.
Okay.
I'll second Councilwoman Long's motion for amendment.
Could that language be very specific, sir?
Yep.
Okay.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Terry Courtney,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Okay, now you typically vote on first reading. If you'd like to do that, you can do that as amended now.
Motion.
Second.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Terry Courtney,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. We'll have a revised ordinance at next month's meeting. All right. You guys like to go into council comments and mayor comments before possible closed session, or do we want to stick with the order?
Just go with the agenda.
I do need Jerry,
Okay.
so I'll just wait until after this time.
You lost me there, Matt. So you're saying stick with the...
Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay. All right, so the next item on the agenda is possible closed session pursuant to KRS 61.810, subsection 1, subsection F. Discussions or hearings which might lead to an appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee, member, or student without restricting that employee's, members, or student's rights to a public hearing if requested. This exception shall not be interpreted to permit discussion of general personnel matters in secret. I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Dan and Jerry. Dan, Matt.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Terry Courtney,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. You're welcome to hang out outside till we're finished up, or if you guys want to hit the road, I understand. And
Major Mark.
I asked Major to hang around
Wow.
in
'Cause you
case
wanted
there
to talk
was
to-
any difficulties.
If we were gonna need to be arrested or something?
If, you mean if Matt stomped out again?
No, before the meeting.
I didn't do nothing, Mark.
I didn't expect you to still hang around, but sorry.
I was wondering, I thought we was getting some update on that.
Yeah.
I'm tickled at this point.
That nobody got arrested?
Well, no, but
We don't know, maybe.
television, right?
Yeah.
It ain't over yet, right?
We all good?
Yeah. So now we'll go into council comments. Rose?
I don't have anything.
Amy?
she's in the bathroom.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was quiet.
Don't think that what you're gonna say first.
Amy, any council comments tonight?
You fixed your hair.
I pulled my hair down. No, there's nobody about. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Thank y'all for sticking around.
Yeah.
Terry?
Major Mark, thank you for sticking around. It's always nice seeing you here. And our trusty and dedicated videographer.
And you guys.
Sherry?
We've been working y'all
I'm
hard.
good, thank you very much.
Matt?
Good to go.
Good? No? I don't have anything. Thank you, Major Mark, for the overtime tonight. And
He is not asking.
he's like, if I'm going to stay, I at least want to arrest somebody. But yeah.
Anybody got any questions?
All right. I don't have anything either. So
She's got a question.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Is
Let
there
me have
anything
figured-
anyone can share about the closed session topic? Or when something will come out about what was discussed
The only thing discussed was continuing council's investigation.
with the credit card?
And as that investigation is still open and pending, we don't want to get into specifics at this point, but we definitely need to do our due diligence to be fair to the citizens of the city and to the mayor. And until that investigation is concluded or the next steps become apparent, right now that's I'll stay pretty quiet.
Cut.
Yeah. Thanks.
Did you say cut?
Yeah.
I did.
Next steps as an impeachment? I don't want to interpret it correctly.
I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, so no comment at this time.
That's all that's going to be said on this topic
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
tonight.
Thank you.
Yep.
How long is this building going to be open? Is it?
This particular building?
Yeah.
We're going to lock the door in about 3 minutes.
As there's light.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Yep.
You good? You're good? Okay.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Paige. Thank you.
Have a good day. Good evening.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I was supposed to motion before I stood up, right?
No, you're right.
We can't,
I don't
you
think
know
there's
what,
a
if you
rule on
want to
that.
stay